Hi, so I'm going to give you another demonstration of how my virtual reality setup works, the HTC Vive. This time with a racing simulator and my kind of a racing cockpit here that I have set up. So if you look on the left-hand side, again, you have what I'm looking at in my headset through one of the eyes. And then on the lower right, you have the camera that's up to my left, kind of showing the whole chair setup. And then the top right is, again, the camera that's on the front of the headset itself, so you can see the steering wheel in front of me and how, when I move my head around, it reacts versus what you see in the real world, or in the virtual world. So first I'll kind of go through my setup here. So I have a Logitech steering wheel here set up in front of me. You can see it's got a series of keys laid out in front, so you can use those to control the in-game menus. It also has shifter paddles on the back side. I have a manual shift that I just haven't found a way to actually mount on this hardware yet for the chair. So once I get that set up, that'll be another thing I can add in there. Right now I just run everything kind of automatic mode. The steering wheel came with the pedals, so I have the gas, I have the brake, and then I also have the clutch when I actually get that working, so I can have all three of those pedals available to me. And then what's cool about the chair that I have everything mounted on is this thing actually folds up, so when we're not using it to race the cars, it folds up completely with all the hardware still attached to it. You can either put it in the closet or just move it in the corner so it's out of the way to give us all the rest of the room to use for the rest of the VR setup. One other cool thing about the steering wheel is that it actually gives force feedback, so it'll fight you a bit. So as you're driving and you hit different patches of the road, different terrain, the steering wheel will kick back and kind of vibrate and move back with you. And it gives you quite a lot of resistance, so if you're trying to just turn the wheel real quick while you're going really fast, it'll fight you and kind of give you a little bit more immersion into the game. So you have the full 3D environment around you, and you have the steering wheel kind of giving you that feeling of the road. So it's a pretty cool feeling. So let me go ahead and exit out of the menu here and show you the way that the car looks. Okay, so everything is true to scale. So I have, like I said before, my right eye and my left eye being rendered separately with that offset to give you full stereoscopic vision. So as you look around the cockpit of the car, you can see you got their mirrors that actually work. So when you're racing, you have to use them to keep track of where the other cars are around you. The dashboard and everything's the right scale. The passenger seat there. I actually have the same car, so this is the Toyota version of what I have, the Subaru BRZ, and everything is exactly accurate to how it looks in my real car. So it's a pretty cool experience to be able to sit here in a racing game, look around, and feel like you're driving your car that you have every day if you find the same car. So you can also look around full 3D behind you, and I'll just give you kind of a quick rundown of driving the car by itself, and then I'll load up into a race so you can see what it's like having the other cars around you and actually having to use the mirrors on your left and right. So without any further ado, I'll go ahead and start driving. So the hands and the steering wheel are actually one for one. So as I turn the wheel, you can see that the guy who's filling out my body here also moves the wheel at the same time. Now and again, I don't know if it doesn't really come through in the video very well. Whoop, see? And then, so that's what's kind of cool about playing this in the virtual world, is how quickly those walls come at you. So you actually kind of get that instinct of like wanting to shield your face when the wall's coming at you very fast. You also kind of have to have a feel of how the road works and how much your tires are sticking on the road, because you get that resistance back from the steering wheel. So again, it takes a lot of practice. I haven't spent a whole lot of time in this game, so I'm not very familiar with it. But it is pretty cool seeing the environment in real scale. I will say you're probably seeing a bit of a screen stutter just because my game or my computer is having to render not only what I'm looking at, but a duplicate version for you to look at, as well as the inputs from the camera. So in my headset, everything's much more smooth than it is what you're looking at in the video. But it is a very cool experience, and I can feel as I go off the road, the steering wheel's kicking back and losing control of the vehicle. Just another degree of that immersion into it. And as you can see, the mirrors are all updating in real time, so you can kind of see how those come into play. So what I'll do right now is I'll go ahead and pause it, I'll get out of here, and the next thing you'll see, I'll be loaded into an actual race. Okay, so here I am loaded into a race. I've jumped into a little bit more of a fun car to look around, like a Formula 1 type cockpit here. So there's nothing really around me. You get full size of the vehicles around. So I'll go ahead and get that started. You can see I have full views around me. So the sense of speed in these cars is pretty intense. You feel like obstacles around the road or the walls are getting close to you, kind of makes you jump a bit. And the other cars all seem like they have full scale to them, so they're very large. do kind of have, if you're not used to driving in VR or flying in VR, you do kind of have a bit of motion sickness that you have to overcome. Again, your body expects to feel the G-forces, so when you accelerate, you don't feel that acceleration. It kind of throws your brain through a loop trying to figure out what's going on. Especially when you have all the motion and the movements around you. See if I can give you kind of a bit of a view from the vehicles passing me. And another thing that does not come through in the headset for you at all is just the sheer sense of scale that you get from these vehicles. They feel like they really are the size of a whole car right next to you, so it's pretty disorienting and very immersive to feel those vehicles. See the vehicles in the mirror, how that actually comes into play, because you really, like you're driving a real car, you can't really just turn your head and look around. You got to keep your eyes on the road, so that's what the mirrors is actually useful for. And go ahead and make jokes about my driving in this. I've not spent a lot of time driving. I really just wanted to show you the basics of how my setup works. It's very fun. I've only really played through a little bit of the campaign in this game, so I don't have a lot of experience, and it starts you out with go-karts. So going from go-karts to full Formula 1 race is a little bit of a leap if I haven't put the time on the wheel in, but it's a lot of fun. I can't wait to get my manual stick shift working so I can start experiencing that whole other degree of realism in the game. Yeah, hope you enjoyed, and thanks for stopping by.